Joy was a woman in her early 30s, radiant and full of dreams, with a heart that once beat in perfect rhythm with a man named Ken. She had spent years by his side, their relationship blossoming slowly, naturally, until it reached the milestone she had long anticipated, an engagement. Their wedding was on the horizon, and everything should have felt like a fairy tale unfolding. Ken was everything she thought she needed. He was gentle, reliable, attentive, a man who showed his love not through grand gestures, but in the quiet sacrifices he made every day. He came from a modest background, worked long hours at a physically demanding job, and yet never once complained. Every tired sigh, every missed meal, every aching joint, it was all endured to make Joy's life just a little easier. He loved her deeply and selflessly, believing that love, patience, and hard work would be enough to build a life worth living together. But deep inside, Joy's heart stirred with a quiet longing that grew harder to ignore. Though she admired Ken's dedication, a part of her ached for something more comfort, more glamour, more indulgence. Her closest friends moved in circles of affluence. Their lives seemed effortless, filled with champagne brunches, designer labels, exotic vacations, and spontaneous shopping sprees. The way they lived made Joy feel as though she were on the outside of a glittering world, her nose pressed against the glass. Every time they met, she listened to their stories with a smile plastered on her face, but inside she wilted. Each casual mention of a new luxury bag or a weekend in Paris carved another notch in her growing dissatisfaction. Why did it feel like she was settling? Why couldn't she have the same? The quiet life Ken offered, once a source of comfort, now felt dull, insufficient. She began to feel ashamed of their modest apartment, their careful budgeting, their thrift store finds. Her heart grew divided. One part still clung to Ken's unwavering love, but the other wandered, chasing shadows of opulence she could never reach with him. Then, one ordinary evening while scrolling through her phone, a new name appeared on her screen: Victor. He had sent her a friend request. She knew of him. Everyone in the city did. He was a man draped in wealth and mystery, a successful businessman with a taste for the finer things, and a well-known weakness for beautiful women. Married, older, but undeniably magnetic. His profile gleamed with photos of lavish parties, luxury cars, and elite destinations. Curiosity, envy, and temptation swirled within her. What harm could a little conversation do? She accepted the request. From that moment, a new chapter unfolded, one fueled by seduction, silk, and secrecy. Victor wasted no time. He showered her with flattery and expensive gifts, whisked her away to exquisite dinners where every dish sparkled under candlelight. Every glance from him felt like a promise. He spoke her language, the language of luxury and indulgence, and he made her feel seen in a way she hadn't felt in a long time. Her life with Ken began to feel like something she was just enduring, while her encounters with Victor felt like a movie, intoxicating and dangerous. She told herself it was harmless, just a taste of another life. She could have both, couldn't she? Ken's love and Victor's luxury? So she carefully balanced her double life, weaving excuses and lies into her days with Ken, while secretly slipping away into Victor's world. But the deeper she sank into this illusion, the more fragile her reality became. Then, just days before the wedding, her world came crashing down. She was pregnant. The news struck her like lightning. She should have felt joy. Wasn't this what she and Ken had talked about for months? A family of their own. But dread overtook her. There was no certainty of the child's father. Ken or Victor? The question haunted her relentlessly. Every heartbeat echoed with fear. If Ken found out, about Victor, about the betrayal, about the baby, everything would be ruined. Her future with him would turn to ash, and her reputation would be scorched beyond repair. She wrestled with the guilt, the shame, the panic. It was a nightmare she couldn't wake from. Eventually fear won. Tears soaked her pillow the night she made her decision. She told herself it was the only way to protect what remained. Quietly, secretly, she terminated the pregnancy. The procedure ended with both relief and crushing sorrow. She vowed to herself that it would never happen again. She would be faithful, she would be better. Ken didn't need to know. She still loved him after all. She clung to the hope that they could still be happy. Their wedding was beautiful. Flowers blooming, music swelling, laughter floating through the air like confetti. Joy wore her white dress like a shield, her smile carefully painted over the pain. To the world, they were the picture of love. And for a while, she believed the lie she had wrapped herself in. Months passed. Their love seemed steady again, their lives peaceful. They began trying for a child, dreaming of building the family they had always talked about. But with every month that passed, hope dimmed. The pregnancy never came. Doctor after doctor gave them the same quiet, devastating news. Joy's chances of conceiving were now painfully slim. As the reality sank in, regret came crawling back. Each day, it sank its claws deeper into her. What if that had been her only chance? What if she had destroyed not only a life, but her own future as a mother? Every time she saw a baby on the street, or a commercial for diapers, her heart splintered. The decision she had made, the one she thought would secure her future, now haunted her like a ghost she could not exorcise. Ken remained patient at first, comforting her with quiet strength. He held her hand through doctor visits, reassured her in whispered promises. But Joy, unable to forgive herself, began to unravel. Her grief turned into self-loathing, her love into silence. The once warm home they shared became cold, heavy with unspoken pain. Then one day, the carefully buried truth clawed its way to the surface. Ken overheard a conversation he was never meant to hear. Fragments of a past he never suspected. Suspicion bloomed like poison. When he confronted her, her walls crumbled. She confessed everything. The affair, the pregnancy, the abortion, the deception. Ken's heart shattered. The woman he had given everything to had betrayed him in the worst way. He stared at her, eyes filled with devastation, as if seeing a stranger. Joy begged, sobbed, pleaded for his understanding, for forgiveness. She still loved him, that part was real. But the damage had been done. No matter how hard he tried, Ken couldn't erase the image of her with another man. Couldn't forget the life that might have been. The child they had lost before it ever truly existed. The pain was too much. The trust too broken. In the end, Ken left, taking with him the love that had once been her greatest treasure. And Joy, once surrounded by gifts and luxury, was now left with nothing but silence and shadows. She had chased a dream, a glittering illusion of happiness, and in doing so, she had destroyed the very thing that had been real. The love, the future, the family she once imagined, all gone. In their place, only memories remained. And regret. She stood alone in the ruins of her choices, watching as the life she could have had faded further out of reach. The glamour she had longed for felt hollow now, meaningless without love.